She stood there for just a moment, a simple pause in an ordinary day. The air held that specific late afternoon chill that promises an evening drawing in. She was waiting for the traffic light to change, and in an unthinking, automatic gesture, her eyes drifted to her own reflection in the dark, polished glass of the pharmacy window. It's a glance we do 1,000 times, a quick check-in with the physical self we present to the world. But this time was different. There was a flicker, a strange, momentary disconnect. The woman in the glass. She was familiar, yes, but also a stranger. The set of her mouth, so firm and a little tired, was her mother's mouth in her last years. The lines that fanned from her eyes weren't just laugh lines. They were a testament to worry, to squinting against harsh light, to long nights spent awake. Her posture, which in her mind was still straight and ready, seemed softer, more rounded in the glass. And for a brief, startling beat, a genuine question arose from a deep, quiet place within her. Who is that? And then, the second beat. The slow, quiet, sinking recognition that follows the shock. The cool wave of truth washing over. Oh, that's me. Have you ever had that moment? That quiet, private jolt of alienation in the most mundane of places? It doesn't have to be a shop window. Perhaps it happens when you're scrolling through old photographs, or the sound of your own voice on a recording, or catching a glimpse of yourself in a group photo from a family gathering, and your eyes search for you, only to land on this older person who, by process of elimination, must be you. This is the moment we are here to talk about today. The profound, often silent moment when the mirror no longer recognizes you, or rather, when you no longer recognize the mirror. Let's be very clear about what this is and what it is not. This is not about vanity. It is not a shallow complaint about a wrinkle or a gray hair. To dismiss it as such is to misunderstand one of the most significant and unspoken passages of later life. This is a conversation about identity. It's about the silent, gradual drift between the self we feel we are internally, that timeless, ageless consciousness, and the physical vessel that carries us through the world. It's a quiet, internal earthquake that can leave you feeling untethered, a stranger in your own skin. The world gives us no language for this feeling, other than the language of battle. It tells us to fight aging, to erase the lines, to defy the years. It frames this natural, inevitable, and potentially beautiful process as a failure, a loss, a war to be waged. And in doing so, it isolates us. It makes us feel that this intimate, personal reckoning is something to be hidden, to be ashamed of. But what if it's not a battle at all? What if it's not a loss, but a deepening? What if it's an invitation to a new kind of relationship with yourself, one that is truer, kinder, and more profound than any you have known before? Today, we are setting down our armor. We are not here to fight, or fix, or mourn. We are here to sit with this person in the mirror, to get to know them, and perhaps to finally, truly come home to ourselves. Let's talk with tenderness about that person you carry inside you. We all carry a version of ourselves, like a snapshot in time, who still walks beside us. For so many of us, that snapshot is of a person perpetually somewhere between 30 and 45. Do you recognize that? It's that era that often solidifies in our consciousness as the definitive you. We were in the thick of it, building careers, raising families, making our way. Our bodies were reliable instruments. We felt we knew who we were, what we were capable of. That person feels so real, so solid in our memory. They are the anchor of our self-image. And so, when you look in the mirror and see the architecture of your face softened and changed by time, when you feel the persistent, gentle pull of gravity, it can feel like a betrayal. I wonder if you've ever felt that. A quiet sense of loss for the person in that snapshot. The one who could stay up all night and recover with a single cup of coffee. whose knees didn't predict the rain, whose hands were smooth and unblemished. You are allowed to grieve that version of yourself. It is not disloyal to the person you are now. It is a tender and human response to the great flowing river of time that carries everything with it. So, bless that person in the snapshot. Thank them for their energy, their ambition, their resilience. Thank them for every mistake they made that taught you something essential. Thank them for the foundation they laid. You can bless the path behind you and the person who walked it without ever needing to walk it again. Because the story does not end with grief. That is only the first chapter of this new relationship. The person in the mirror is not a faded photograph. They are a library filled with first editions, with rare and precious volumes of wisdom that the younger you could not have possibly written. These lines on our faces are not flaws. They are etchings of emotion. They are proof of a heart that has felt things deeply. A dear friend once told me that the moment she truly made peace with her aging face was the day her young granddaughter drew a picture of her. When my friend asked why she drew so many lines around her mouth, the little girl said, without a moment's hesitation, "Because those are your happy wrinkles. They show up when you smile at me." I want you to think about a tree, an old, magnificent tree. When you look at such a tree, do you mourn its lost youth as a smooth, slender sapling? Do you criticize its bark for being cracked and weathered? Do you see its gnarled branches as imperfections? No, of course not. You see its majesty. You see its strength. You intuitively understand that its beauty is not in spite of its age, but because of it. The tree doesn't grieve its bare branches in the dead of winter. It doesn't lament the loss of its vibrant summer leaves. It understands seasons. It knows that winter is a time of deep, quiet rest, of gathering strength in its unseen roots, preparing for the life that is to come. It trusts the process. The deep fissures in its bark are not flaws. They are its story. They are a testament to every storm it has weathered, every drought it has survived, every year of sun and wind and ice it has endured to be standing here before you. The bark is its history, its character, its honor. The tree's value isn't in its fleeting, seasonal blossoms, but in its deep-rooted, enduring, life-giving presence. What if you could see yourself this way? What if you are not a fading flower, but the whole, magnificent tree? Your body, your face, it is your sacred bark. It tells the story of your seasons. The lines are the record of laughter and tears. The silver in your hair is the shimmer of wisdom earned. The softness in your body is the grace of having learned you don't need to stand rigidly against every wind. This body, this face, has been your most faithful companion. It has carried you here. It has breathed for you billions of times without a single command. It has healed your wounds, fought off illnesses, and held you steady through unbearable sorrows. It has never once abandoned you. Can you offer it the same loyalty now? Can you meet it not with critique, but with a profound and tender gratitude? It's safe to see yourself with new eyes. It's safe to befriend what you see now. Not because it's perfect by some impossible external standard, but because it is yours. It is the physical manifestation of your unique, unrepeatable, precious journey on this earth. Here is something you might carry with you into the quiet moments of your week. This is not a task or a chore. It is simply an invitation, a small, gentle practice of reunion. Find a mirror and find a quiet moment, not when you are in a rush, not when you are brushing your teeth or getting ready to go out. Let this be a deliberate act of meeting. Perhaps dim the lights or use the soft, forgiving light from a window. This is not an interrogation. This is a homecoming. Take 3 slow, deep breaths, and with each exhale, imagine you are letting go of a layer of judgment. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Now, I invite you to look into your own eyes. just your eyes. For a moment, try to look past the surface, past the crow's feet or the puffiness or the color of your irises. Try to see the consciousness that is looking back out at you, the eternal, ageless self who has been the witness to your entire life. Hold your own gaze. This may feel difficult. Your inner critic might start its familiar chatter. That's okay. Just notice it and gently return your focus to your own eyes. You are building a new muscle here, a muscle of kind attention. And then, when you are ready, I invite you to whisper, either out loud or just in the quiet sanctuary of your heart, these 3 simple things. First, hello there. A simple, gentle greeting, as you would to a beloved friend you haven't seen in a very long time. No judgment, just a soft, welcoming hello. Second, I see you. And this is not about seeing the surface. This is a deep seeing. I see your journey. I see your resilience. I see the battles you fought in private. I see the love you gave so freely. I see your secret hopes and your quiet fears. I see all of you. And third, and perhaps most importantly, thank you. Thank you for carrying me here. Thank you for all that you have weathered. Thank you for your strength, your breath, your heartbeat. Thank you for being my home. Stay there for another moment. Don't rush to feel a flood of self-love. That is not the goal. The goal is simply to notice the shift, however small. The shift from critique to communion, from alienation to acknowledgement. You are planting a seed of kindness in a garden that may have been untended for a very long time. The ultimate goal is not to look in the mirror one day and magically see the face of your youth. That is a face from an old snapshot. A beautiful memory, yes, but a moment that has passed. To cling to that is to miss the profound beauty of what is right here, right now. The real transformation, the true recognition, happens in a much quieter, more profound way. It's the moment you look in the mirror and you no longer feel that pang of longing for who you were. Instead, you see who you are. You see a life etched with honor. You see strength forged in fire. You see compassion earned through your own heartache. You see wisdom shining in your eyes. You see a soul who is still here, still learning, still growing, still becoming. You do not have to fall in love with the stranger in the mirror today. That is too great a leap. But maybe, for now, you can just stop turning away. Maybe you can hold their gaze for a second longer than you did yesterday. Maybe you can offer them a silent nod of respect, of solidarity. Maybe, for now, that quiet truce is the most loving act of all. And maybe, for now, that is more than enough. It is everything.